hike up here?
I try for 7 days a week year-round while I'm in town.
Here.
Well, last winter the coldest I did was 17 below zero without a wind chill factor. The coldest I've ever done. I started my hike at, I think it was 25 below zero, and it warmed up to 18 below. And that was the coldest hike I've ever done here at Monadnock. The whole layering system works according to how fast you want to set your pace. You want to stay warm, not overheat and sweat. In the wintertime, I usually trade in my trash bag for trail cleaning for a set of ski poles, and I use those for more traction, and I use traction devices for my snow boots so I can come up with spikes on my feet if necessary. And then when I get up here, I take them off and boot ski all the way down. Just slide on my feet and use the ski poles to take corners.
What's the typical length of time it takes you to come up this time of the year?
About an hour to get up, half hour to get down, and that's not counting the extra time I take to clean the trails, do trail maintenance, pick blueberries, and socialize. Usually I come up on the white dot, but if I come up with other people that want to do other trails, or if I have like pictures that I need to get done in certain parts of the mountain, trail maintenance, or if I know there's a good blueberry patch out there, and depending on the time of day, the time of the year, and who I hike with, I could be anywhere here. By the end of this year, I should be close to 6,000 summits in lifetime total here at Monadnock.
So you've come up here 6,000 times.
I'm at about 5,900 right now.
Okay.
Give or take 100.
What would cause you not to come up?
Ooh, maybe a trip to the White Mountains.
To hike some more.
Yeah, all the days that I have missed here this year. Recently, this year I've adopted part of the Appalachian Trail in the White Mountains, and I go up into the Presidential Range in Mount Madison and do trail work up there in the spring, summer, and fall. And so there's 3 weeks out of the year that I'm not here.
Have you ever hiked the Appalachian Trail?
I haven't done the whole thing, only the parts in New England.
Okay. The Long Trail in Vermont?
No, but that's another one on my list.
Okay. Do you think maybe instead of coming up here 6,000 times, you might want to go up another mountain?
Well, the whole thing kind of got started back in the early 80s when I just decided I was going to attempt to hike this mountain, make it to the top every day for a calendar year. And once that happened, things just kept right on going, and I ended up doing 2,850 consecutive days to the top, pretty much the decade between 1990 and 2000. I was here every day, and since then I decided I want to do at least 300 summits a year to stay in shape, so when I do go on other hikes, I don't have to get in shape at any given point. Well, I do photography now, and then I do work for the AMC, the Appalachian Mountain Club, and when things get tight, then I have to do other things to make up the difference. But I'm what you call a starving artist out here.
A family? You have any family?
I have relatives here in New England, and I happen to be the only hiker and photographer in the family. I'm making up for all those that don't. I got just about one hike for every resident in this town that doesn't come up here. I've estimated that I've met approximately 1.5 million people on my hikes here. I have found weather situations that were incredible. Everything from the winter storms to rainbows, sunrises, interesting wildlife. I've met a lot of good people, and of course with over 120,000 visitors a year on this mountain, you're going to run into a lot of interesting characters, and some of them probably shouldn't be here at all, but I've seen interesting things come up here, everything from weddings, birthday parties, people flying kites, unicycles. I've been involved in rescue operations, and I've done night hikes, full moons, videotaped the fireworks show from Jaffrey, and the list goes on and on. My collection of photography is about 15,000 images that I've done here in the past 20 years. I've seen people come up here and actually trash the place. and be loud and rude and interrupt other people's so-called a nice experience that they could be having here. I mean, it's basically simple rules here: carry in, carry out. You know, no camping and fires, and no pets. And occasionally we get people up here that are just loud, rude, and leave a mess behind. And I'm pretty much, as a volunteer, I just take care of it. But all the problems that we've had here in the past are down to a minimum. In the past 10 years, the trash problem is down 90%. The last year that they did allow pets here at Monadnock, they logged in over 8,000 dogs. And even if 90% of those were well behaved, just think of the numbers on the bad ones. And it got so out of control that they had to say, okay, we just can't have pets here anymore. When you got over 100,000 people coming into a park this small, and you allow pets, there's abandoned pets chasing wildlife, interruptions, and besides that, the mess is just out of control. I see tracks in the snow, and I'm sure the wildlife sees me a lot more than I see them.
Have you seen a bear?
Yes, I have.
And of course deer, I'm sure.
Yep, and I've also seen some of the other little things, like the coyotes chased a deer up here not too far from right here, chased them up the mountain and had them for lunch, and I got to witness that. And of course you got all the other little things like,
you seen a bobcat?
Yep, I've seen them. I've also seen some tracks of bobcats that I would like to have gotten on film.
Okay.
And right now I've got actually I got a photo display at the Jaffrey Civic Center featuring winter on Monadnock. And last winter I was involved in helping out some people do a documentary film about this mountain, and they let me run their fancy equipment, and they liked it because they didn't have to come up in the winter, and I love it. So when this documentary comes out, I got pretty much the exclusive on the winter stuff, and wait till you see what I got. A few people have asked me who's the oldest one that's made it to the top. And I said, I don't know for sure, but it'll give me something to aim for.
How old are you?
No, okay, I can tell you. I hit 50 this year.
Okay.
I usually make people guess. And this is one of my favorite shots of the annual dance performance by the Diane Eno Dance Company. And they come up every year and put on like an aerobic ballet bouldering performance in dedication to artists on the mountain. And on a really clear day, you can see Mount Washington, which is, I think, about 80 miles in a straight line from here, with most of the state of New Hampshire between here and there, and you can't even see a road. And this is at the junction of the upper junction of the White Dot and the White Cross after the same ice storm we had in March. About 15 inches of ice overnight. This is the Pompelli Ridge from the top, and that's showing off a nice frosting on the mountain. And today I'm going to go right over there and pick blueberries. And I spent all winter out here looking for different textures in the snow and ice. And I found a really good variety, and actually some of these scenes I did get on a high definition video for the documentary. I got to Falcon Spring this past winter, and this was after the coldest night we had all winter, and this ice formation happened, and I showed up at the spring early in the morning, and I thought it was just fantastic that Mother Nature can just take a few drops of water and make stuff like this happen. And this was in March, and we had an ice storm that came and went overnight. And this is the signpost at the top of the Red Spot Trail at the Pompelli Junction, and people have called it the Ice Angel. And this is the trail sign at the top of the red spot with Fred. And this is the type of ice that forms overnight in the springtime in columns which act as like fiber optics pulling the light down in, and it's shining out the bottom. This is about 1 square inch of snow fleas. Their species name is called springtail. And in the springtime, when the snow melts, These little guys are running around by the millions out here, and mostly they go unnoticed, but I decided it was an important part of the mountain and the wildlife to capture it on film. Yeah, actually on this one you can see the other side of the sign that says the Red Spot Trail. And the storm came from the other direction. The ice does not form on the leeward side.
Well, I've climbed this mountain every summer for the past 11 years, and whenever I come here I feel like this is one of the things that I have to do.
11 times, doesn't it get boring having climbed the same mountain 11 times?
No, you always notice new things, and you always meet people at the top, and I always have a really wonderful experience doing it.
How many other mountains have you climbed?
Oh, I don't know, probably 3 or 4, but this is sort of probably the biggest one that I've done.
Oh, this is
Yeah,
one
I
of
think
the
so. Yeah.
one of the more difficult.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good because I climbed it too.
My bar is pretty low. So. I teach music at a college in Northeast Iowa called Luther College, and I'm a composer. I usually teach a second-year music theory class, and then I have private students that are, first year through fourth year. I'm a pianist, and I also play the organ, so I do a lot of church music from time to time as well. Well, I kind of grew up in the era of Amadeus, so that was kind of an important movie when I was growing up. I'm also a fan of The Red Violin, which is a movie that was made maybe 9 or 10 years ago. I'm married and I have a 9-month-old son named Keegan. The trail that I took me a little under 2 hours.
And what trail was that?
It's called the Pumpelly Trail.
And I climbed in 2 hours and 45 minutes, so I'm a little bit weaker. But I'm 60. I'm going to be 66 at the end of the month, and you are?
I'm 38, so
you
you're doing
don't
pretty good.
You don't look 38. As you look around, we can see Boston from you. Have you been to Boston?
I've been to Boston once, about 7 years ago.
Any
just for the day.
any opinion?
Oh, I enjoyed it very much. Yeah, we were hoping actually to go see the Red Sox play, but didn't work out. I'm a baseball fan, and I haven't been keeping up so much this year. And I'm also a hockey fan. Those are the two.
What two teams?
For baseball, it'd be the Detroit Tigers, and for hockey, it's the Detroit Red Wings.